Hi everybody. Today's open-ended is going to involve systems of inequalities. We're going to have to make the lines and make the linear inequalities and then shade and use systems and that sort of thing. So it's dealing with an apple farm. An apple farm owner is deciding on how to use each day's apple harvest. She can use the harvest to produce apple juice or apple butter. The information she uses to make the decision is listed below. 16 bushels of apples will make 16 quarts of apple juice, A bushel of apples will make 20 pints of apple butter. The apple farm can produce no more than 180 pints of apple butter each day. The apple farm harvests no more than 15 bushels of apples each day. The information can be modeled with a system of linear inequalities when x is the number of quarts of apple juice and y is the pints of apple butter. Two of the inequalities that model the situation are x is greater than or equal to 0 and y is greater than or equal to 0. Write two more inequalities to complete the system of inequalities modeling this information. So, what it's telling us here is that we've got our x to be the quarts of apple. Let's put that down over here, okay? So, x equals quarts of apple juice. And y equals pints of apple butter. Okay? Let's go back to the problem here. It's telling you that x is greater than or equal to 0 and y is greater than or equal to 0. The reason for that is you can't possibly produce less than 0 quarts or pints of apple juice and apple butter. If you decide not to make any, it's 0. It's not less than 0, it's just 0. So you can't go less than that. So what that's really saying is that we're in the first quadrant. Okay? But it says write two more inequalities to complete the system of inequalities modeling the information. So, can make no more than 15 bushels of apples each day, and a bushel of apples will make 16 quarts of apple juice. So if we do 16 times 15, this is for part A, that is 240. Okay? So what that's really telling us is that we can't make more than 240 quarts of apple juice each day. Okay, so we're going to come back here and we're going to say that x has to be less than or equal to 240. Okay. Now the other one, there isn't really any math involved even. It just says the apple farm can produce no more than 180 pints of apple butter each day. So we know then that y has to be less than or equal to 180. And those are two perfectly legitimate systems of inequality. Okay, part B says graph the solution set of the inequalities from part A below. Shade the area that represents the solution set. So we have to remember that x equals apple juice and y equals apple butter. So we're actually going to get rid of this here. And we're just going to make an axis. We only need the first quadrant. X is juice, apple juice, and the y is the butter. And we should probably say that this is in pints and this is in quarts. Okay, so the juice is going to be going up by 16 quarts for each bushel, while the pints is going to be going up by 20 for each bushel. So that's just what I'm going to use the counter. I'm going to go 16, 32, 48, 60, 64, times 8, 80, 96, 112, 128, 144, 160, 176, 192, 208, 224, 240. And as I did a lot of that, I realized maybe I should have counted by 32s actually. The apple butter and pints, we can count by 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, and 180. Okay. Now, they're telling us that we cannot make more than 180 pints of apple butter. So we can put a line right at 180, horizontal line, saying that we cannot go above that. Okay. We also know that 240 quarts of apple juice is the most that we can make. All right. We can put a line here for the 240 quarts of apple juice. All right. Now we do need one more line here, one more equation. And what's going to happen here is that for every bushel that we put towards the apple juice, it'll make 16 quarts of apple juice, but we'll lose 20 pints of apple butter. So if we go back here, if we don't put anything towards the apple juice, we would have 180 pints of apple butter. Okay, if we don't put anything towards the apple butter, we'll have 240 pints of apple juice. Now for every 16 quarts of apple juice we take away, we go up 20 pints of apple butter. So we're going back 16 and up 20 each time. Back 16, up 20. Okay? And what this is going to happen until we get to this point at 96 and 180. We'll hit right there. Okay? This is 96, 180. Okay. With a system of inequalities now, we have to decide what part to shade. Well, it would be possible to make no quarts of apple butter, no pints of apple butter, no quarts of apple juice. So we are going to shade all in here, the possibilities for the amount that they can make. We can't shade over here in that side because it would be too many apples. We wouldn't be able to produce 180 pints of apple butter and 160 quarts of apple juice. That's not possible. Okay, so that's why we have to shade down in here. Okay. The third part of this question then is the apple farm makes a profit of $2.25 on each pint of apple butter and $2.50 on each quart of apple juice. Explain how you can be certain that the maximum profit will be realized when the apple farm produces 96 quarts of apple juice and 180 pints of apple butter. Okay, how this works is you can only have your maximum profit occur at 3 spots. Okay, it can occur at the intercepts or at intersections. In other words, it could occur here at the 180, here at the 96, 180, or here at the 240. Okay, those 3 spots are the only 3 spots where we could have maximum profits. So what are those 3 points? Those 3 points are 0, 180, 96, 180, and 240, 0. Given that, it says, if we go back, that the apple butter is making $2.25 and the apple juice is making $2.50. So the butter, which is Y, has a profit of $2.25, and the juice, which is X, has a profit of $2.50. So all we're going to do is take our X, the amount of juice, multiplied by the profit, and add it to the Y times the profit. So in other words, for the first point, it's 250 times 0 plus 180 times 2.25, $2.25. Obviously, the 250 times 0 is 0. The 180 times 2.25 is 405. In this case, they would make a profit of $405. Okay. However, the 96 180 here, that is 250 times 96 plus 180 times 2.25. And that is equal to 645. Obviously, you were making more because you were selling apple juice. You weren't letting any of that go to waste. Last is if you take the 240 quarts of apple juice from right here and multiply it by 2.5 plus 2.25, but you're not selling any pints of apple butter, so you're multiplying that by 0. Okay, so you're doing 240 times 2.25, and that is going to give us 540. And it's simply asking, which one of those is the biggest profit? Well, the biggest profit is right here. So we have shown that 96 180 is the max profit. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to go through the video again or contact your instructor. You have an open-ended now that looks similar to this. If you have any questions, again, please watch the video again or contact the instructor. And as always, I hope you have a great day.